Imagine if you were stranded on a deserted island. What would you do if you found yourself alone on a remote island, far from civilization, with only your wits to rely on? Today, we're going to explore this intriguing and challenging scenario. We'll first look at where deserted islands exist in the world, and then delve into the essential strategies for survival, including shelter, food, warmth, and more. We'll apply rigorous scientific analysis and reference expert advice to guide us through this survival journey. Deserted islands are scattered across the globe, often in remote oceanic locations. Many are found in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, such as the uninhabited islands of the South Pacific, including parts of Micronesia and Polynesia. The Indian Ocean also hosts isolated islands, like those in the Maldives' outer atolls. Even the Caribbean Sea has its share of uninhabited isles, tucked away from popular tourist routes. These islands vary in climate, from tropical paradises to harsh, rocky outcrops, but the common thread is their isolation from the resources and comforts of modern society. So you've found yourself on one of these islands. What's the first step? According to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Ready.gov website, the initial priority in any survival situation is to assess your immediate environment for hazards and resources. Begin by taking a deep breath to calm yourself, and then survey your surroundings. Look for potential dangers, like unstable terrain or wildlife, and identify resources such as fresh water sources, vegetation, and materials that could be useful. Shelter is your first critical need. Exposure to the elements can be one of the biggest threats to survival. Dr. John Leach, a renowned survival psychologist, emphasizes the rule of threes. You can survive 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter in extreme conditions, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. While air isn't a concern here, shelter becomes paramount, especially if the island experiences harsh weather. Look for natural shelters first, such as caves or overhangs. If none are available, you can construct a shelter using materials from your environment. Use branches, leaves, and vines to build a lean-to or a debris hut. Position your shelter above the high tide line and consider factors like wind direction and proximity to resources. The UK's Royal National Lifeboat Institution advises that insulation from the ground is crucial, so lay down leaves or grasses to create a barrier against moisture and cold. Next, secure a source of fresh water. The human body is approximately 60% water, and dehydration can become life-threatening within days. Search for freshwater streams or springs. Collect rainwater using leaves or any containers you might have. In tropical environments, you can gather water from dew in the mornings using cloth to absorb moisture and then wringing it out. If you have the means to start a fire, you can distill seawater. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, distillation is a reliable method to remove salt from seawater, making it safe to drink. Finding food is your next challenge. While humans can survive weeks without food, energy, and morale will dwindle without sustenance. Islands often provide a variety of food sources. Look for edible plants, fruits, and nuts, but be cautious. The U.S. Army Survival Manual recommends the Universal Edibility Test to determine if a plant is safe to eat. This involves testing for reactions on your skin and lips before ingesting small amounts and waiting to see if there's an adverse reaction. Fishing is another viable option. You can craft spears from sharpened sticks or create simple traps in tidal pools. Shellfish like clams and crabs are typically abundant in coastal areas. Be sure to cook any seafood thoroughly to kill parasites and bacteria. Birds' eggs can also be a valuable food source if you can find nests. Fire is essential for warmth, cooking, and signaling for rescue. Starting a fire without matches or a lighter is challenging but possible. use the bow drill method, which involves creating friction between a wooden spindle and fireboard. Gather dry tinder, like grasses or bark shavings, to catch the spark. Fire not only provides warmth and the means to cook food and purify water, but also serves as a signal to passing ships or planes. The National Fire Protection Association emphasizes safety when building fires. Ensure your fire is contained, won't spread, and is away from your shelter. Keep it manageable and have sand or water nearby to extinguish it if necessary. Signaling for rescue should be a constant effort. While surviving, you should also increase your chances of being found. Create large SOS signs on the beach using rocks, driftwood, or by carving into the sand. Bright colors or reflective materials can attract attention. At night, a fire can be seen from afar, especially if you add the green foliage to create smoke during the day. The International Aeronautical and Maritime Search and Rescue Manual suggests using mirrors or shiny objects to reflect sunlight toward passing planes or ships. If you hear aircraft, get to an open area quickly to make yourself visible. Maintaining your mental health is just as important as physical survival. Isolation can take a significant psychological toll. Stay positive by setting daily goals and routines. Keep your mind occupied by exploring the island, crafting tools, or even keeping a journal if materials permit. Remember, as noted by the American Psychological Association, resilience is key in overcoming adversity. Protecting yourself from potential dangers is also crucial. Be aware of wildlife that may pose a threat. Snakes, insects, or larger predators could inhabit the island. Create barriers around your shelter if necessary. Additionally, be cautious with unfamiliar plants and animals to avoid poisoning or allergic reactions. Hygiene and healthcare are vital to prevent illness and infection. Clean any wounds thoroughly with fresh water and keep them covered. If you have access to ash from your fire, it can be used as a rudimentary antiseptic. Practice regular hygiene by bathing in safe water sources to prevent skin infections. Planning for the long term is essential if rescue isn't imminent. Begin thinking about sustainable food sources, improving your shelter, and perhaps even mapping the island. Understanding the patterns of tides, weather, and animal behaviors can aid in your survival. In conclusion, surviving on a deserted island is a formidable challenge that tests the limits of human resilience and ingenuity. By prioritizing shelter, water, food, fire, and rescue efforts, and by maintaining a positive mindset, survival is possible even in the most daunting circumstances. Now, we'd like to hear from you. First, what do you think would be your greatest challenge if you were stranded on a deserted island? Finding food, securing shelter, or coping with isolation? Second, do you believe that survival skills should be taught more widely, perhaps even in schools? Why or why not? Lastly, if you could bring one tool or item with you in this scenario, what would it be, and how do you think it would aid in your survival? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this exploration into survival thought-provoking, be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Don't miss out on our next episode, where we'll continue to delve into fascinating what-if scenarios. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, keep wondering, imagine if